The alarm blared across the USS horizon, jolting Captain Frank Miller from his thoughts. He gripped the arms of his command chair and looked at the main screen. A ship had appeared from nowhere. Not just any ship, an alien ship. "Status report," Frank ordered, his voice calm despite his racing heart. "Unknown vessel, sir." "Nothing like we've ever seen," replied Officer Greg Wilson from the radar station. "It just appeared. No warp signature, no approach vector." The massive ship outside their viewport seemed to bend light around it. It was 5 times the size of the horizon, with a design that looked like flowing water frozen in space. "Weapons status?" Frank asked, hoping they wouldn't need them. Lieutenant Susan Parker, the weapons officer, looked up from her console. "Our systems are ready, but..." She hesitated. "Captain, their technology is way beyond ours. Scans show energy readings off the charts." Frank nodded slowly. He had trained for first contact scenarios, but facing the real thing made his mouth dry. This was humanity's first venture beyond the solar system, and they'd barely made it past Alpha Centauri when the alien vessel appeared. "Open communications on all frequencies," he ordered. "Let's try to talk before things get ugly." The bridge fell silent as they waited. Commander Alan Wright, Frank's second-in-command and best friend since their academy days, moved to stand beside the captain's chair. "You think they'll understand us?" Alan whispered. "If they can build something like that," Frank replied, nodding toward the view screen. "I'm betting they have ways to figure out our language." The main screen flickered and everyone gasped. A being appeared, tall and slender with 4 arms and blue-tinted skin that seemed to shimmer. Its head was elongated with 4 large eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. There was no visible mouth, yet a voice came through the speakers. "Humans," the alien said, the word sounding strange but perfectly understandable. "We have been watching your kind for many years. I am Ambassador Zoltar of the Galactic Confederation." Frank stood up straight, aware that he represented all of humanity in this moment. "I am Captain Frank Miller of the Earthship Horizon. We come in peace and friendship." Zoltar's eyes blinked in sequence rather than together. "Your rapid climb from basic tools to space travel concerns us. Most species take 3 times longer to achieve what you have." The bridge crew exchanged nervous glances. Susan's hands hovered over the weapons controls, but Frank gave her a small shake of his head. Starting a fight would be suicide. "We're explorers," Frank said simply. "We want to learn about the universe and perhaps find others like you." "Others like us?" Zoltar made, a sound that might have been laughter. "Human, there are no others like us and certainly none like you. Your kind is unique." Dr. Olivia Grant, the ship's science officer, stepped forward. Her curiosity overcame her fear. "Unique how, Ambassador?" The alien seemed to study her before answering. "Your species evolved on what we classify as a death world. High gravity, extreme temperature shifts, deadly radiation from your sun, powerful predators. And yet you not only survived, but thrived." Frank felt his crew's pride at these words, but also sensed danger in them. Being unique wasn't always good news. "Earth is just home to us," Frank said carefully. "We didn't know it was special." "Your world shaped you into something the galaxy has never seen before," Zoltar continued. "You humans can eat foods that would kill other species. You heal from injuries that would be fatal to most. You can go days without sleep, survive extreme temperatures, and your minds..." The alien paused. "Your minds work differently. You feel deeply, yet think clearly at the same time." The communications console beeped. Susan checked it and looked up with wide eyes. "Captain, they're sending us navigation data and an invitation." Zoltar nodded. "The Galactic Confederation Council wishes to meet humanity properly. We have a station orbiting what you call Barnard's Star. Your engines can reach it in 3 of your days." Frank glanced at his navigation officer, who confirmed, with a nod that the coordinates matched Barnard's Star, 6 light-years from Earth. "Why should we trust you?" Alan asked bluntly. The alien's upper eyes narrowed. "If we wished you harm, Commander Wright, your ship would already be space dust." The fact that we speak now is proof of our peaceful intentions. Frank was startled that Zoltar knew Alan's name and rank without being told. Just how long had they been watching humans? We accept your invitation, Frank decided. But I'll need to inform Earth about this meeting. Of course, Captain. Your government has already been contacted. They await your confirmation. The screen went dark as the transmission ended. The alien ship shifted position, moving alongside the horizon like a silent escort. Captain, Olivia said into the stunned silence, do you realize what just happened? We're not alone, and apparently we're special. Frank looked around at his crew, 20 men and women who had just become humanity's first ambassadors to the stars. They looked scared, excited, and proud all at once. Set course for Barnard's star, he ordered, and someone get me a direct line to Earth Command. They're not going to believe this. As the Horizon's engines powered up, Frank stared at the alien vessel through the viewport. Humanity had spent centuries wondering if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the answer, and it seemed the universe had been wondering about them too. The journey to Barnard's star took 3 tense days. When they finally arrived, the crew of the Horizon gasped at what they saw. The alien station looked like a giant snowflake made of metal, with 6 huge arms spreading out from a central hub. Lights of every color blinked along its surface. That thing must be 5 miles across, whispered Alan, standing beside Frank on the bridge. Centauri Station welcomes the Earth vessel, came Zoltar's voice over the comm system. Please dock at Arm 3, Bay 17. Frank chose his landing team carefully. Himself, Science Officer Olivia Grant, Commander Alan Wright, and Security Chief Paul Martinez. They wore their best uniforms and carried only small sidearms as a sign of trust. Remember, Frank told them, as they prepared to exit the airlock, we represent all of humanity now. No matter what we see in there, stay calm. When the airlock opened, they found themselves in a massive hallway with ceilings 3 times taller than needed for humans. The IG. Air smelled strange, like cinnamon and metal. Their atmosphere is adjusted for us, Olivia noted, checking her handheld scanner. They've been studying us for a long time to know exactly what we need to breathe. A robot that looked like a floating silver ball approached them. Please follow, it said in perfect English. The council awaits. As they walked through the station, Frank tried not to stare at the aliens they passed. Some had 6 legs and moved like spiders. Others floated above the ground. One group looked almost human except for their purple skin and extra fingers. They're all staring at us, Paul said quietly, his hand never far from his weapon. We're probably the first humans they've seen up close, Alan replied. The robot led them into a huge round room with 12 platforms arranged in a circle. On each platform stood a different alien species. Ambassador Zoltar waited in the center. Captain Miller and representatives of Earth, Zoltar announced, his voice echoing. The Galactic Confederation welcomes you. Frank stepped forward and bowed slightly. Thank you for your invitation. We are honored to meet other intelligent life forms. A small alien with green skin and huge eyes leaned forward from its platform. They're so fragile looking. Are we sure they're from a death world? Appearances can be deceiving, Counselor Vex, Zoltar replied. Humans are among the most durable species we have encountered. Frank frowned. Death world? What does that mean? Another alien, tall and thin with skin that shifted colors like an octopus, pressed a button. A large hologram appeared in the center of the room, showing Earth. This is your planet, the color-changing alien explained. I am Dr. Nara, Chief, Scientist of the Confederation. By our standards, Earth is classified as a death world, a planet where conditions are extreme and dangerous. The hologram zoomed in, showing Earth's weather patterns, volcanic activity, and wildlife. Your gravity is nearly twice the average of most civilized worlds, Dr. Nara continued. Your temperature ranges from freezing to burning. Your world has deadly storms, earthquakes, floods, and countless diseases. Even your sun bombards your planet with radiation levels that would kill most species. But that's just normal Earth, Olivia said, confused. We've always lived with those conditions. Exactly, said Zoltar. What is normal for humans would kill most other intelligent species in the galaxy. A new hologram appeared, showing human DNA beside alien genetic codes. Look at your genetic structure, Dr. Nara pointed. You have repair mechanisms that can fix radiation damage. Your bones are incredibly dense. Your muscles can become stronger when stressed. You can survive losing large amounts of blood. You can even regrow certain damaged tissues. Paul laughed. You make us sound like superheroes. We get sick. We break bones. We die from accidents. Yes, but at what level? Asked a bulky alien with rocky skin. Humans can fall from heights that would shatter our bodies and survive. You can be cut open, have organs removed, and continue living. You can break bones and heal completely. Many of your kind have survived being stabbed through vital organs or shot with primitive projectiles. Alan whispered to Frank. They're afraid of us. Frank nodded slightly. Something about this meeting felt wrong. Why would these advanced aliens care so much about humans? There's something else, Frank said loudly. Something you're not telling us. Why bring us here just to tell us we're tough? The council members looked at each other. Finally, Zoltar spoke. Because of what happens to Deathworld species when they join the galactic community. Most become conquerors using their natural advantages to dominate others. They see softer species as prey. That's not who we are, Frank protested. No, agreed Zoltar. That is what makes humans unique. Despite your strength and endurance, your species values cooperation over domination. You form bonds with weaker creatures. You protect instead of exploit. This combination of physical power and moral restraint has never been seen before. The hologram changed again, showing scenes from human history. People helping each other. During disasters, medical workers saving lives, astronauts exploring space together. Humans can survive conditions that would kill most species, Dr. Nara said. But instead of becoming monsters, you became explorers and builders. This is why we contacted you now, before you ventured further into space. Because you want to study us? Olivia asked. No, Zoltar replied, his four eyes blinking seriously. Because we need your help. The galaxy faces a threat that only creatures from a death world can stop. What kind of threat? Frank asked, his face serious. The council room had gone quiet. Zoltar waved his four-fingered hand, and a new hologram appeared. It showed strange ships attacking peaceful planets. The alien vessels looked like giant black crystals. They are called the Krell, Zoltar explained. A species from the far edge of the galaxy. They evolved on a world even harsher than Earth, but with one key difference: they became predators, not protectors. Dr. Nara added, the Krell have bodies covered in natural armor. Our weapons barely harm them. They feel little pain and fear, nothing. They have conquered 7 star systems in the past year alone. Frank looked at his team. Olivia seemed fascinated by the biology of these Krell. Alan looked skeptical. Paul's hand rested on his weapon, ready for trouble. Why us? Frank asked finally. Your technology is centuries ahead of ours. Even if we are tough, you have better ships, better weapons. Technology isn't everything, Captain, said a small, bird-like alien from one of the platforms. The Confederation species are all specialists. The Velians are great scientists, the Norax are master engineers. The Tau are unmatched diplomats. But none of us evolved to fight. Humans, Zoltar continued, are the only species we've found that combines physical toughness with creative thinking and moral purpose. You don't just survive. You adapt and overcome. Frank frowned. Something still felt wrong. You want us to be your soldiers? Fight your war? Not exactly, Zoltar replied. First, we need to know if what we believe about humans is true. We request that your team participate in a series of tests. 2 days later, Frank watched nervously as Olivia and Paul prepared for the alien tests. They were in a large white room filled with strange equipment. Scientists from 5 different alien species monitored screens and took notes. The first test will measure your physical abilities, explained Jury, a Velian scientist with 6 fingers on each hand and skin that glowed softly blue. Please step onto the platform. Olivia went first. The platform began to hum, and gravity increased. The aliens watched in amazement as Olivia remained standing even when gravity reached twice Earth normal. Remarkable, muttered Jury. Most species would be crushed. When the gravity increased to 3 times Earth normal, Olivia finally struggled but still managed to stand. The aliens looked stunned. Your turn, Jury said to Paul. This test will measure your endurance. Paul was directed to run on a treadmill. He ran for an hour, then 2. The aliens kept increasing the speed and adding obstacles. 3 hours later, Paul was sweating but still running. Enough, Frank finally said. You've proven your point. Jury couldn't hide his amazement. The average Confederation citizen would have collapsed after 10 minutes. Your security officer has been running at top speed for over 3 hours. The temperature tests were even more revealing. Olivia sat in a chamber while the temperature dropped to freezing, then rose to desert-hot levels. She was uncomfortable but remained alert enough to solve complex math problems the aliens gave her. How is this possible? Asked a reptilian alien, watching the tests. She should be in physical distress, unable to think clearly. Humans evolved on a planet with extreme temperature variations, Olivia explained through chattering teeth as the chamber cooled again. We adapted. The final tests were psychological. Frank and Alan were presented with battle simulations and crisis scenarios. The aliens were shocked at how humans could remain calm under pressure, think creatively when faced with impossible odds, and maintain their ethical standards even in life-or-death situations. Most species either panic or become coldly logical. In crisis, Dr. Nara explained afterward, humans somehow balance emotion and reason, finding solutions we would never consider. After the tests, the council called Frank alone to a private meeting. Zoltar seemed troubled. Captain Miller, the test results confirm what we suspected. Humans possess abilities that the Confederation desperately needs. The Krell advance closer, every day. A new alien entered the room. This one had skin like polished metal and moved with odd, jerking motions. Frank had not seen this species before. This is General Varix of the Defense Force, Zoltar introduced. He has a proposal. Captain, the metallic alien said, his voice sounding like grinding gears. We wish to offer an alliance with Earth. We will provide your people with advanced technology, weapons, shields, faster engines. In return, we ask for human soldiers to join our fight against the Krell. Frank's eyes narrowed. You want to turn humans into your warriors, while you stay safe? No, Varix replied quickly. We would fight alongside you, but the Krell have never faced anything like humans before. Your natural abilities combined with our technology could turn the tide. I need to speak with my government, Frank said carefully. This isn't a decision I can make alone. Of course, Zoltar agreed. But please understand, time is short. The Krell fleet approaches the Rigel system. If it falls, 3 heavily populated worlds will be next. As Frank left the meeting, he found his team waiting anxiously. What did they say? Alan asked. Frank told them about the proposed alliance. They want to give us advanced technology in exchange for our help against the Krell. It could advance Earth's development by centuries, Olivia pointed out. Or drag us into a war we know nothing about, Paul countered. Frank stared out a viewport at the stars. We came looking for new friends and discovered the galaxy is at war. Now we have to decide. Do we help fight a battle that isn't ours, or do we turn our backs on a civilization asking for our help? If we help, Alan said quietly, humanity becomes a player in galactic politics overnight. If we refuse, we remain safe but alone. One thing I know for sure, Frank replied, watching an alien ship dock at the station. If humans join this fight, we'll do it our way. And the galaxy isn't ready for what humans can do when we're pushed. 3 months passed quickly. Frank sat in the main conference room of Centauri Station waiting for Earth's response. He'd sent detailed reports about the Krell threat and the Confederation's request for help. Now, finally, Earth was ready to answer. The door slid open and Frank jumped to his feet in surprise. Instead of a video message, a real person walked in, Admiral Nicole Hawkins, one of Earth's top military leaders. Admiral, Frank saluted sharply. I didn't expect you to come. In person. Nicole, a tall woman with gray-streaked hair and sharp eyes, smiled briefly. At ease, Captain. This situation was too important for long-distance communication. She wasn't alone. Behind her came a team of Earth's best, military officers, scientists, engineers, and diplomats. Frank recognized Dr. Sharon Lee, Earth's leading alien biology expert, and chief engineer Joe Garcia, who had designed the Horizon's engines. Earth has been busy since your first message, Nicole explained as they walked to meet the Confederation Council. We've built a fleet. Frank almost tripped. A fleet? In 3 months? 20 ships, Nicole confirmed. We took every space vessel we had and upgraded them with what we learned from studying your reports on Confederation technology. They're not pretty, but they'll do the job. The aliens were just as surprised when Admiral Hawkins announced the high arrival of Earth's battle group. Zoltar's 4 eyes blinked rapidly, and what Frank had learned was a sign of shock. Your species works quickly, Zoltar said. We expected months of discussion before any action. Humans don't waste time when there's danger, Nicole replied simply. I've brought our best people to learn what we can from you before we face the Krell. General Varric stepped forward, his metallic skin gleaming. We have prepared combat simulations based on previous Krell encounters. Your officers should study them. While the military leaders discussed strategy, Dr. Sharon Lee worked with Confederation scientists to learn more about Krell biology. She discovered something important on the second day. The Krell aren't invincible, she announced at the planning meeting. Their armor has microscopic weak points. The Confederation energy weapons spread their force too widely to penetrate these spots, but our projectile weapons might work if modified correctly. Joe Garcia had been studying Confederation technology. We can combine our approaches, he suggested. Use our bullet designs with your energy propulsion systems. Create weapons that hit harder in a smaller area. Frank watched with pride as the humans quickly adapted to the alien technology, finding creative solutions the Confederation species had never considered. Within days, human engineers had designed new weapons and shields, while human tacticians developed battle plans that shocked the alien military leaders. You want to attack directly? General Varric asked in disbelief when Nicole presented her plan. The Krell outnumber us 3-1. Numbers aren't everything, Nicole replied. Your fleets have been fighting defensively, reacting to Krell movements. We need to surprise them, hit them where they don't expect it. This approach seems risky, Zoltar said carefully. That's the point, Frank explained, supporting Nicole's plan. The Krell expect you to behave as you always have, logically, cautiously. They won't expect bold action. A week later, the combined human Confederation fleet departed for the Rigel system. The 20 Earth ships looked crude next to the sleek alien vessels, but they had been quickly upgraded with shield technology and better weapons. Frank commanded the Horizon alongside 3 Confederation cruisers. Nicole led the main attack force, from her flagship, the UES Defender. The human ships were smaller but more maneuverable, perfect for the daring plan they had created. Krell fleet detected, announced a Velian officer on the Joint Command Channel. 43 ships approaching Rigel 4. All ships, battle positions, Nicole ordered calmly. Remember the plan. Confederation vessels form defensive line. Earth, ships prepare for attack pattern Omega. The aliens watched in amazement as the human vessels suddenly accelerated to full speed, heading directly toward the massive Krell fleet. On standard tactical displays, it looked like suicide. What are they doing? Asked a Norax commander in alarm. Zoltar, who had insisted on joining the battle as an observer, watched with growing understanding. They're doing what humans do best, the unexpected. Instead of engaging in traditional space combat, the human ships darted between the larger Krell vessels, firing precisely at the weak points Dr. Lee had identified. The new hybrid weapons, human-designed projectiles powered by Confederation energy technology, punched through the Krell armor where pure energy weapons had failed. The Krell ships tried to adjust, but they had never faced such tactics before. They were used to enemies who kept their distance and fired from safe positions. The humans flew dangerously close, making themselves harder targets while landing devastating hits. "This is crazy," Frank muttered as he guided the horizon through a tight turn between two giant Krell ships. But it's working. Within hours, the battle had turned. 5 Krell ships were disabled, and 3 more were retreating. The Confederation vessels, following Nicole's plan, had held the defensive line perfectly, preventing any Krell ships from reaching Rigel 4. "The Krell commander is requesting communication," reported a Tau officer from the communication station. Everyone fell silent. The Krell had never attempted to communicate before. On the main screen, a Krell appeared, a massive creature with black, crystalline skin and 6 glowing eyes. It spoke in a deep, rumbling voice that the translation system struggled to process. "What manner of beings are you?" the Krell commander demanded, focusing on Nicole. "We are humans from Earth," she answered simply. "You fight differently," the Krell said, almost sounding confused. "No species has challenged us this way before." "Get used to it," Nicole replied. "We're just getting started." The Krell commander was silent for a long moment. "We will withdraw from this. System 2, reconsider our approach." When the transmission ended, the command center erupted in cheers. Frank found himself being slapped on the back by aliens of 3 different species. "This is unprecedented," Zoltar said, his voice filled with wonder. "The Krell have never retreated before, never negotiated." Frank smiled tiredly. "They've never met humans before." 1 year after humans first met the aliens, everything had changed. Frank stood at a large window on Centauri Station, watching ships from dozens of worlds come and go. Earth vessels flew alongside alien craft, no longer looking out of place. "Quite a view, isn't it?" Admiral Nicole joined him, handing him a cup of coffee. Real coffee was now a popular trade item with alien species who found its taste exciting. "I never imagined this when we first left Earth," Frank admitted. "We were just hoping to find signs of alien life. Instead, we joined a galactic war and changed how the entire Confederation thinks." The war with the Krell had ended 3 months. Earlier, not with their destruction, but with something more surprising: peace talks. After more human-led victories, the Krell had asked for a meeting. It turned out they respected strength and had never considered talking to species they saw as weak. Humans had changed their minds. "Ambassador Rivera is finishing the new alliance treaty today," Nicole said, referring to Michelle Rivera, Earth's official representative to the Confederation. "Earth will be a full member with special status." "Special status?" Frank asked. "They're creating a new security council, and Earth will lead it," Nicole explained. "They've finally accepted that our way of thinking has value." Olivia approached them, now wearing the uniform of the Joint Human Confederation Science Division. "The new research center is amazing," she told them excitedly. "We're combining human creativity with alien technology to solve problems neither could fix alone." The station lights dimmed briefly as a massive ship docked, the newest Earth vessel built with Confederation help. It was called the UES Unity, a perfect symbol of the new partnership. "The Krell representatives have arrived for the ceremony," Alan reported, joining the group. He had been promoted to captain of his own ship after the war. "Still can't believe we're allies now," Frank nodded. "That's the human approach: fight hard if you must, but always be ready to make peace." They walked together to the Great Council chamber where representatives from 37 worlds had gathered. The chamber had been redesigned to accommodate all the different species comfortably. Even the Krell had seats sized for their large bodies. Zoltar, now the head of the Confederation, called for attention. "Today marks 1 year since humans joined our community," he announced. "In that short time, they have changed us all." The gathered species applauded in their various ways, some clapping, others flashing colored lights or making musical sounds. "Humans showed us that survival isn't just about technology or physical strength," Zoltar continued. "It's about adapting, finding new approaches, and working together across differences." Michelle Rivera stepped forward to sign the new treaty. "Earth doesn't seek to rule the galaxy," she said. "We seek to explore it, learn from it, and help protect it. What humans are capable of isn't just fighting, it's building bridges between different worlds." As the ceremony ended, Frank found himself standing with Zoltar. When we first detected your signals from Earth, the alien admitted, many wanted to avoid contact. They feared what a death world species might do to the galaxy. What changed? Your minds? Frank asked. Your stories, Zoltar replied. We intercepted your television and radio broadcasts. Other predator species create tales of conquest and domination. Humans imagine peaceful meetings with aliens, even while acknowledging your own violent past. You hope for better from yourselves? Frank smiled as he looked around at the incredible mix of life forms working together. In just 1 year, humanity had gone from being alone on Earth to becoming an important part of a galactic community. Eidos, Galaxy expected warriors, Frank said quietly, but discovered we're explorers at heart. The biggest shock wasn't what humans can endure, Zoltar agreed, but what you can dream. The end.